Good morning, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. So glad you guys are with us on this fine Saturday morning in February of 2020. I have in the studio with me today, I have Nikki Anderson. Nikki's back from Hawaii.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Nikki. Long time no see.
I know. It's
This
been
is
forever.
your paperwork.
Thank you.
And I'm handing out official paperwork to Nikki and Jim. Jim, you can go on that side, and we'll just do it that way. We'll just have to do it like it was before. And also in the studio, Jim DeLobby, who I haven't seen forever, PGA extraordinaire, PGA professional extraordinaire. How you doing today, Jim?
Hello, good to see you, Mike.
Good to see
Nikki,
you too, man.
Good to hear you.
Nice to see you,
Good
Jim.
to hear you guys too. So, a little hectic this morning on the show, but we're moving through it. It's good. You guys been good?
Busy. Busy.
Busy
I
is
know
the
the
key word
feeling.
at our age.
Yeah.
I know the
Woo.
feeling.
I thought it's supposed to slow down at
Yes,
some
I
point.
thought so too.
Doesn't happen.
You would think so? I don't.
Where are we? Twilight Zone.
I know.
It
right?
is. It really is the Twilight Zone. I think we've got a really good, feel like we got a really good show today. We're going to persevere through the stuff this morning here. Last week we were supposed to have Eric Jones, a PGA professional, on the show, and we had some technical difficulties and stuff like that. So we moved Eric to today. He's a co-author of a book called The Clutch Golfer Formula, which I figured both of you guys can appreciate.
Oh, yeah. I started reading it last night.
Nikki being a clutch golfer, Jim being a clutch
Wonderful.
coach, clutch PGA professional.
Like it. Arba.
Eric's got a really interesting background. He's been NCPGA, I think, Teacher of the Year in 2014. He's been a long drive champion. He's opened up several golf academies. Just a really cool background. So I'm very excited to talk with him. Just kind of pick his brain. I'm going to try to let him just do the talking because there's a lot there.
I have a match on Monday. I hope he can help me.
Yeah, what's going on with you? Like,
I have
what,
more
like, what
bad
kind of
match
help?
play.
But
I need
what
like,
do you need?
well, you know.
The famous question.
Smile is good.
Getting your head in the right place,
Yeah.
at those critical moments.
Yes, it's hard.
It's hard. And
I-
I know what I do. I kind of float away, and one part of me goes one way, and another part of me is like looking down, going, what the heck is she doing?
I have a match on Monday too.
I know we can compare notes when we're done.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to say the least.
It will be.
It will be very.
It will
interesting.
be actually fun to compare notes afterwards.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we've got Eric Jones, PGA professional, is going to join us. He co-authored this book called The Clutch Golfer Formula with Dr. Glenn Albaugh, and they've worked with some really, really big PGA Tour players. I think Dr. Albaugh worked with the 49ers, stuff like that, and so we'll be doing that interview here in the next segment. We're also going to have preparing for that bucket list golf trip, if I read you right, Jim, right? And I know that we've got someone over here to my right, Nikki Anderson, who's done a lot of bucket list golf trips. So I think there's probably a lot of good feedback and information that Nikki can give. PGA Tour, USGA, PGA Tour players, all of a sudden, I mean, this has been in the background a lot, and now the noise is getting bigger and bigger about controlling distance of the ball and the club. In an article I read this morning, they're saying it's not even the ball, they being the USGA. They're trying to control some other things on the tour. Is that can be a good thing or a bad thing? Speaking of the tour, there's a possibility of a new tour coming on to challenge the PGA Tour,
Yeah.
which I think could be great and could be devastating. However you want to look at it when you talk about the history of the PGA Tour. So that's something that we'll get into in the second hour. And then, of course, we'll round out the show with Ponder This. But to start out, we always got to have a good BM in the morning. And I think I need one after this morning.
I agree with that, Mike.
I was thinking on the way down, as I always do, okay, what am I going to talk about for the BM? Because the BM can be just generic. That's the terminology of the BM, right? And I thought, Billy and I always say, hey, we're going to tie back the BM to golf. And I don't know why this clicked, but it did. So I didn't have a chance to write my thoughts down when I got here because everything's going on. But the Super Bowl was Sunday. Niners lost. My heart's broken. And now this week has been the week of the chatter. You know, it's the news agencies throwing out the lines, trying to get the stories, spin things. It's the fans overreacting. It's all the usual garbage, and I just can't stand it. Like, the more I see it, the more it just really irks me. So what I was thinking about was, you know, if you really step back and you look at the 49ers season, again, I'm a 49er fan, and those of you out there who are not, I think you'll be able to appreciate this if you're a fan, and just in general. You're a fan of any sport and your team gets to the championship and loses, it's almost worse than if you just hadn't made the playoffs at all, and because the expectation is a lot less.
Yeah.
Here's my example.
No.
Yes. Here's my
take your thumb out of your mouth and take it like a man. As a Raider fan, as a Baltimore Orioles fan, you're telling me my seasons are not as bad as you getting to a Super Bowl? Baby, you can take that and sell it to somebody else with that bridge, but you're not selling it here, man.
Okay, so let me give you an example of why I said
I understand
that.
It hurts, but
let me give you an example of why I said that. Okay, because I had a flow going there. I will hear about this loss of the Super Bowl for the rest of my life. I will hear about it until the next football season. And I will have Kansas City Chiefs fans all over me telling me how much my team sucks. But that wasn't where I was going with this thing.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm going with this is you have a guy who's a great athlete in Jimmy Garoppolo. He played 6 games for the Niners. He got hurt the next season. You think he played another 6 games. He comes back this past year, leads the team to a 14-2 or 13-3 record, gets them through the whole thing, and then they get to the Super Bowl and they lose, and it's Jimmy G's fault.
Oh, yeah.
All right? My point with this is fans get caught in the outcome. Yeah. They don't think about the process, and if you've never played sports before on a team, you don't understand losing as a team. You don't get it. And when I see the posts that drive me absolutely mad about, is Garoppolo the 49ers quarterback for 2020, 2021? Let's get Tom Brady. I'm like, come on. Give me a frickin' break.
But
this guy didn't even have a full season with the team until this year. Plus, as a football team, you have 52 players or 53 players on that roster. You have all those coaches. You win and lose as a team, as players and as coaches. No one single player loses the game. Every single play has a residual effect on the overall game.
Right.
It's not one person. It never has been. And tying this back to golf, everybody is so outcome oriented in sports. It's like fire the coach, fire the QB. Fire the assistant coach. Fire the GM. You know, it's a process to build a championship team. Teams like the Raiders and teams like Cleveland Browns, you know why they don't get anywhere? They have no stability.
Yeah.
There's no stability there whatsoever. If you're going to build something good, you have to allow for the time of the process to develop to create the outcome you want.
But I think your challenge is to not listen to the people that really don't know what they're talking about.
And I don't. I've read a bunch of stuff, but tying this into golf, it's the exact same way.
Absolutely.
It's like, Jim, you as an instructor, how many times do you get people coming to you, that lesson didn't work? They won't say it like that. They'll just say, you know what, the outcome wasn't that great. And I'm like, well, okay.
I didn't score well.
Yeah. So what have you done? What did you do prior? How did you set up the process to get the desired outcome? Or are you just looking for the outcome, and then you sit there and you keep looking for the outcome? So guess what? You never work on the process. You never will improve. You just won't. And with golf, you're never going to be perfect. And you can strive for perfection, in my opinion, but you're never going to be perfect. You're going to have rounds that are really good, but you're never going to shoot an 18. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. And if you let go and develop your process, your outcome usually will arrive. And that's my point with the 49ers. That's my point with any team. So hop like the Raiders. That's my point with any of this stuff. You know, it's so it just drives me mad that, you know, people who comment on this stuff haven't experienced it. You know, I've never been an NFL player, but I played football. I played a lot of football. Football's a really, really difficult sport. It is really tough to get that many people to do something to succeed and coordinate on every single play.
Right.
And the timing, it's unbelievable. People have no idea. And I'm not defending Garoppolo. I'm not defending the Niners. I'm just saying, look at anything that you do, you have to develop a process to get to the desired outcome. If you keep skipping the process to get to the outcome and you're going to say, I'm going to trade this quarterback, I'm going to get rid of this coach, I'm going to get rid of this GM, you're never going to arrive.
Right.
It's the same thing with sports when all these teams signed all these superstars. We're going to the World Series. No, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You aren't. Your chances of going are probably a couple percentage points higher than what they were before. And you know why it probably won't happen? Because you have a group of superstars.
Right.
They have not molded to become a team. And usually if they do that in a season, that's very lucky. That's like hitting the lottery like 2 or 3 times over.
And with superstars, having that happen in a number of years is even iffy.
Yeah. It's incredible, you know, when you really stop and think about it. So Kobe Bryant, story's incredible. When you think about how many championships he had, think of how many things had to fall in line and how many teams had to work well together and how many things had to happen and the coaching and the
And he
GM.
had to stay there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Had to.
Stay there. That's the stability part I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, it's like with golf. People come in and they want a golf lesson and they go every week. I watch this video week after week after week, and it's a different video every week.
Yeah.
How do you think any of that's ever going to stick? How, even if you watch it all, what are you going to apply?
Yeah.
You got to pick what you're going to apply if you're going to move forward.
Well, you know, speaking from the player standpoint,
Yeah.
I'll say that there's kind of a little bit of a middle ground there. There's people who will never take a lesson, never look at a video, never do anything except go out and hit the ball down the course. And I don't think they're helping themselves either. So as a player, you have to find that middle ground that works for you. You have to find the right instructor. You have to find how many times going to that person is good for you. You have to stick to whatever you've decided is the thing that you're going to try to make yourself move forward. You have to give it a chance to play out, even on a day that it doesn't work. You have to come. Like I went to Hawaii and I made a little bit of a swing change to try to get a little flatter with my swing. And I went to Hawaii and I said, the entire time I'm here, every time I play, the only thing that matters is that I commit to continuing that swing, period.
I like that.
And
And
how'd
I
it
don't
go?
care. It went well.
How'd you feel at the end?
There were some up and downs for sure. There were some times where I just like, but overall, I felt like I got through something that was really important, and I think I'm hitting the ball better. And the interesting thing about it is that I really didn't score outcome that much different than I normally do. But how I felt about how I was hitting the ball was better.
How about when you walked off the 18th hole, you went to the restaurant or wherever you went? How'd you feel?
Fun.
Good.
Yeah, I
How
don't.
was your last hole?
The last hole
What'd
that
you
I
make?
played in Hawaii?
Yeah. And then you went to the, you took off, went to the bar or whatever.
Actually, the very last hole I played in Hawaii was horrible. It was one of these rounds that was like a 6-hour round because it was so slow and you just wanted to be over. And I got to the last hole and the greens are really grainy in Hawaii. It's really, if you aren't really careful, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And I 4-putted it, and I was just like pissed about that. But besides that, it was. I think you have to stick with a very contained plan that you have to get forward for the long term, and it's not going to be instantaneous for sure.
Right.
But towards as you move through that, you have to be able to say, okay, is this working? Is this not working? Do I need a small adjustment? what do I need? So that's always kind of in the back of your mind.
And so part of that process is when you do have success, you don't tear the whole thing down.
no, no.
That rounds out my point
Yes,
precisely. You pull
absolutely.
the quarterback
right.
who had a great year.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah,
in
you
that
pull a
case.
quarterback who has a great year. You've pulled the chief of the offense
Yeah.
pretty much out of the game, and now you've got to resync the whole offense
The whole
and everybody with it. It just doesn't make any sense.
No,
but
but
anyway,
they're not
we gotta-
thinking about that.
yeah, no, they're not. We got to take our first break. It's Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. We'll be right back with. It'll be. Darn, it went blank. It'll be Eric Jones, PGA professional and co-author of the Clutch Golfer Formula. How to hit exactly the shot you want precisely when you need it. Stay with us. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Be right back.